Oh, hello. Welcome once again to Speakeasy with Paul F. Tompkins. I am still Paul F. Tompkins, and my guest this time is a comedian, an actor, an author, that's right, and a recent Academy Award winner. I didn't say which Academy. Please say hello to the Emmy-winning Sarah Silverman. Sarah, thank you for being here.
Oh, what a joy.
Chaz.
Thank you for getting my intro exactly how I sent it to you.
Exactly. I had to expand the font to read everything. It's a spicy ginger ale.
That is a spicy ginger ale.
It's the real stuff. Look, this is like, you don't get this in the supermarket. This is like a homemade artisanal thing. Garnish.
You have to go to Loch Silver.
Is that some Lord of the Rings stuff?
Silver Lake.
Oh, Silver Lake, but you were doing it like an old-fashioned thing, for fun.
I heard Tom Gianna say it once.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah, but I also thought it was funny.
Congratulations on your Emmy.
Thank you.
You won an Emmy for We Are Miracles, which is your HBO special. The album of that is available now. Don't look at my camera. You have your own camera. You can even look in the communal camera over there.
That's my camera.
That's right, I'm the host. Now, this is a nice bit of recognition for a person who, as a kid, always wanted to do stand-up comedy. I mean, that must have been a thrilling moment, obviously.
Yeah. I feel obnoxious because everyone says I was shocked, but I was shocked. I had a really funny bit planned for losing, and I hadn't. But anyway.
Were you almost disappointed that you won because you couldn't do the bit?
Almost, because I had a plan that when the camera went on me, my friend Amy, who's my manager, was gonna go to whisper something, and I was just gonna push her face out, and it would, you know.
It's a funny bit. But I can imagine it, and it's a funny bit, even without the doing and just the telling.
Yeah, so I got the best of both worlds.
Oh my God, they say women can't have it all these days.
I know. So I can't have a baby.
Not physically, right?
I can't imagine I can. I haven't tried, but...
I mean, with that attitude, you never will. Women today are kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. That there's various sorts of external and internal pressures to have everything, to have every life experience. It's kind of impossible to do that, right?
I mean, I always chalk it up to the fact that I'm lazy and a stoner, but I really am not a stoner. I mean, I just have a puff before bed. You don't have any kids?
No, I don't.
How do people decide to have kids? It's such a cavalier, how can you make, it's such a big decision. I'm 43 and I'm still paralyzed. It's a huge...
Do you know what I think? It is a huge decision, and I think you have that pull always. Like, there's people, I'm sure, that like always knew they were gonna be a parent.
Yeah.
And then there's other people that have some sort of experience where it becomes real to them, and they say, oh, I wanna do this. But I think that if you're not having that absolute pull to do it, that drive to do it, probably okay to not do it.
That's how I feel,
Yeah.
but then if there's a baby or a little kid anywhere in the vicinity, I'm gone. I'm just completely obsessed. Like, I just wanna make eye contact, or it makes you into a very desperate creature.
Is that how you think of it?
Well, because you just want love from them, and you want to be able to put all your emotional needs onto them. No?
Sure, absolutely.
But it's like you want to make them smile, you want to make them, I'm lucky I have a lot of great material for 0 to 5.
Right.
But to have a kid, and then also it's like I just did that Oddball Fest tour, and it's like 2 months on the road.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about this baby thing, and just like, because, well, I would adopt anyway, but my gynecologist was like, you're in the 4th quarter. And even if I had a baby right now, I'd be an old mom.
Right.
So I've just been toiling about it. And then this Australian comedian, Jim Jeffries, you know him, right? We were hanging out and everything. And I mean, I love him, but he's like, having some beers, whatever, hanging out. And he's from Australia, and we're talking about it, and he's like, have it, man. You know, I can't do accents, but he's just like, have it, mate. No, he goes, Sarah, do it. It's cool, man. I can't do accents. I'll just say it like this.
Don't get hung up on the accent.
He's like, Sarah, I have a 2-year-old. It's so fun. It's easy. And then I was like, who's watching your kid right now in Australia?
That's demented. That anyone would say having a child is easy. There's a middle ground, I think, between those two extremes.
Right. But say I have a couple errands in the day. I go to the mall. I do another thing. I get some groceries, you know.
Right.
I need to take a nap. That makes me exhausted.
Sure.
So what am I going to do if I have a kid?
I don't want to blow your mind, but kids need to take naps too. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that you could perfectly sync up your nap schedules, but I'm saying it's not impossible.
Right.
Is marriage in your future, do you think?
No. I mean, I want to spend my life with somebody, but...
But you don't like the institution?
I love going to weddings. I love when my friends get married. I
Right.
love when my friends have babies. It's just like not...
It's not for you.
Not for me. I like the idea of like deciding to be together each day.
One day at a time.
Great show.
As our friend
Bonnie
Bill W.
Franklin.
said. That's right. What?
I wanted to be Schneider from One Day at a Time for Halloween this year, but it seems like nobody knows him anymore.
Surely it must be in syndication somewhere.
No.
Listen, if you live in an area where One Day at a Time is shown in syndication, leave it in the comments.
Pat Harrington, may he rest in peace.
Is he dead? Is he no longer with us?
I'm sure he is. Just kidding, he is. I remember.
Manute Bol also we lost.
Oh, I know. I used to tell people he was my boyfriend. For some reason, I had 2 lies about who my famous boyfriend was when I started doing stand-up. Manute Bol and Brent Spiner. Data.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Sure. It's believable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's got to be with somebody, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't he deserve happiness, Brent Spiner?
Yes.
I didn't expect to get to this so early in the interview.
Doesn't Brent Spiner deserve happiness was in your notes.
Yes.
For the interview.
It finally came up organically. You grew up loving performing. I saw a video of you on YouTube as a wee child. You were belting out some old Tin Pan Alley tune.
You know, Andrea McArdle ruined a lot of young girls and their screaming, singing.
That's right.
But, you know, there's like laughter on it because the only one that exists is somehow Jimmy Kimmel found it and played it on his show as a surprise when I was on. And so you hear the Jimmy Kimmel Live crowd laughing.
Oh, so that's the version that's on YouTube?
Yeah.
It's from the Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah, he somehow found it.
So you always knew that you wanted to do this. Now you're at a point where you've become a successful comedian. You're very well known. You're using your celebrity to reach people about issues that you care about.
Yeah.
But it seems like a relatively recent development that you're reaching out in that way. Not that you haven't been, you know, socially minded or anything, but that it seems as if in the last handful of years that you've really decided to kind of go all in.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really a conscious choice, but I guess in 2008, I loved Obama and I wanted to work for his campaign and do something effective. And I remember thinking like, well, what can I do? Because anyone that I'm telling that they should vote for Obama are already voting for Obama. And then the people that aren't listening have no interest in listening to me. But then these guys, Mick Moore and Ari Wallach, they came up with this idea for the Great Schlep, and they approached me, and I was so excited because it was the perfect thing. Like, tell young Jews that love Obama and have them basically threaten their grandparents in Florida who are terrified of Obama and think he's, you know, his middle name is Hussein, so it's like it freaked them out. Or is it John?
Oh.
It's one or the other.
Okay.
I think Hussein basically means John.
Sarah, you and I first knew each other around the time of Mr. Show, when that was starting.
I
on
remember
HBO.
the moment I met you.
Was it on that
The roof
of Jerry's garage?
Oh, yeah, that
Because
Mark Fight
used
lived
to have those
there.
parties. This seems like a bit.
I know. We are friends again. Hey! Yes, the roof of Mark Fight's place would throw water balloons.
That's right. This guy.
You were lying next to Jay Johnston. You two were a comedy team called Skate.
This is before we got hired for this show. That's right.
This is before Mr. Show.
We all used to do these crazy sketch shows at a place called the Diamond Club in Hollywood. It's not there anymore. And it was a nightclub that had this tiny little stage in the back. And you knew that it was time for our show to be over when the dance music would start in the main room, and then you couldn't hear the sketches anymore. But you've appeared on Mr. Show many times, and the 20th anniversary of the first season of Mr. Show is next year, which seems impossible to me.
I know. Well, it's been a lot of 20-year. I feel like I'm constantly saying, well, 20 years ago, and I was like, I'm one of those people, like, you know, when you go like, oh, well, the people who loved high school, those are their glory days. It's like, yeah, well, if you liked 4 years later, those are your glory days, asshole. Like, we're not.
Way to take it to him!
To us!
Yeah! Wait, we're the.
No, we're
I forgot.
thriving.
We're Everything's good.
30 and flirty and thriving. Plus.
Thriving Plus?
Paul.
Yes.
First of all, Speakeasy, because
Yes.
this is like an old-timey speakeasy, and we're speaking easy.
Sarah, you're the first one to get it.
Is that true?
We've had so many dum-dums on this show. Like, flat-out idiots. Who never made that connection.
Are you making fun of me?
I'm not making fun of you. There's not been, you can go back and look. There's not been a single guest on the show who's made the connection between speaking easily and Speakeasy, the title of the show. And I have yelled at the producers. I've yelled at the people who booked the show, and I said, get me one smart person who's able to make this connection. And they're like, we're trying. They're crying. And then finally, I have to pick up the phone myself and say, somebody email Sarah Silverman.
You picked up the phone
I picked
yourself
up the phone
to say
to tell
somebody?
someone, email Sarah Silverman. You got here when? What year did you get to Los Angeles?
1995, January 5th.
There we go. January 5th, you remember the
I
day.
don't know why. Moved in with Tracy Katsky and Marilyn Rice Cub.
That's right. Around the corner from Tower Records.
That's right, where you worked.
Where I
you
worked.
would come. Tower Video.
I worked at the video store, yes.
And sometimes you'd come over on your lunch break.
That's right.
And Tracy made her the one thing that any of us could make. Tracy could make. She could make chicken something. But it was exciting. It was like with meat, you know, and cooking.
Which, yes, that was like a rarity for people like us at that time.
We had a dinner party in our tiny apartment. And
That was a 2-bedroom apartment?
it was a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yes.
Marilyn
Three of you
lived
living
in
there?
the living room.
That's right.
And I think you were there. I know Bob was there. It was when, like, Bob and David were doing live Mr. Show, like before Mr. Show was on TV, and they were just doing it like in
Yes.
Santa Monica and stuff. And Tracy was helping to produce it, like doing all the, you know, stuff. And she made her chicken dish, and we were all hanging out. And Bob Odenkirk single-handedly ruined MASH for me. I was in
The
Tracy's
TV show match.
The TV show MASH, yeah. I was in Tracy's bedroom, sitting on the floor with her little TV, and MASH was on.
This sounds like a great dinner party, by the way.
Well, you know, we were all kind of doing our own thing, whatever.
Sure.
And then he comes in,
There were themed rooms.
he plops down next to me, and he starts fake laughing really hard, you know? I was like, I grew up with MASH, you know, it's MASH. And Klinger was like in a dress, and Bob was like, give him a Section 8! Give him a Section 8! And I was like, oh, he ruined it.
To this day?
Well, I still like it. No canned laughter in the operating room.
That's right. And when they would do the special interview episodes, like the newsreel.
Right.
Yeah.
No laughs.
No laughs.
But it was funny that there were laughs because there was no audience there. They shot it on.
They thought that
in Korea.
They thought they shot it on location in Korea. And the Korean audiences did not appreciate it. They're like, why are we bringing this up again? I know.
That just hit my brain. What you said. I'm dating somebody who was on this show.
Yes.
The actor Michael Sheen. He's wonderful. Unless we ran our course by the time this airs. But anyway, we're madly in love.
Mm-hmm. You
But
thanked him at the Emmys.
I did.
You used a fun little nickname for him.
Fancy pants.
Was that now? That's a thing that you just call him in private, and then you went public with it.
It's so funny because it's how I talk about him. And then one time he like over my shoulder saw me texting or emailing, and I was just like, "Well, Fancy Pants is in town, so I'm gonna blah blah blah." And he's like, "Is that what you call me?" I can't do accents. Yeah, I'm like, you're like a joke boyfriend. You know that, right? No, I'm kidding. But I did not think that I would ever date someone that I've actually heard say in earnest, I need more pocket squares. But I thought that was something you could relate to, as you are a dapper man.
You know,
It's like, pocket squares? What's that?
I'm running dangerously low on pockets. Wait, don't leave me with a cliffhanger. Did he get the pocket squares?
I purchased one for him, a green plaid one, as a matter of fact.
Oh.
Coincidentally, at Top Man.
Because he's a top man.
Yes. Well, I'm more of a top, but
Words.
words.
Several meanings. The English language.
Speakeasy.
Right? Idiots! Sarah Silverman, the album We Are Miracles, is available now. People can listen to it, they can laugh, and if they're just not careful, they might learn something.
Oh, sure, maybe.
Yeah. So be careful, guys.
I wish it was sugar. I wish we could smash these
That would be
glasses.
fun, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all we have time for this round of Speakeasy. Join us again next time when my guest will be a different person.
Is it me again?
No.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I stepped on.
Wouldn't that be weird though, if it was just the same person every time?
I feel like it could be. I feel like I was just warming up.
But I feel like the setup of everything leads you to believe that it's going to be a different person every time. But would anyone notice, do you think?
I think some people would notice.
All right, then this system that's in place is probably good. I'm going to name some strains of marijuana. You tell me if they're actual, real names of marijuana strains, or if I just made that shit up.